So, hello, thank you for being here with us to talk a little bit about your research. If you could please take a moment to introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to participate in this. So my name is Andia Maurine Akifuma. Uh, I'm from Kenya. That's my country of birth and country of residence. I am a second year student in the Masters of Sustainable Development Practice, MDP, here at the University of Florida.
Nice, thank you. Could you tell us a little bit more about your research and what drew you to this field?
Yes. So previously, after my undergraduate, I was fortunate enough to go into non-governmental organizations. So that's where I started development work. So I've worked a little bit in the with non-governmental organizations, specifically in the health department. Then I got the opportunity to go to the Center of African Studies, and I got the opportunity to hear about this program, and I was drawn. I was drawn to just want to know what is this and what do they do. How can I join? What can I benefit from this? Because it was because as much as I was doing, I was involved with NGOs back at home. I did not have any academic knowledge or academic experience in terms of development work. So when I saw this opportunity, I decided let me try my luck, let me apply and see what will come. Then I applied and I was taken. So I was happy because I'm being grounded for development work theoretically and practically. Yes.
That's really
So
nice. Congratulations.
thank you, thank you. So you asked me about my research. So my research, initially I was supposed to do my research in terms of in agricultural field and microfinance, but things changed and I decided to do a research in terms of education, in terms of the Sustainable Development Goal 4. So I was dealing with after school programs here in Gainesville.
I see. You mentioned that your original research plans change.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit how did you manage to work with the changes that you had to face?
So as I mentioned, initially I was going to Kenya for my research work, but it changed. But things changed due to personal things, and I decided to focus more on doing my research work here in Gainesville. But again, when Corona came and nobody was gonna travel, nobody was gonna have interactions with others, I was forced to do remote research. So here in Gainesville, it was not the best thing that anyone could ever wish for, doing your practicum, doing your field work remotely, yet you're supposed to be interacting with people, interacting with the organization, knowing how the organization works, how things work in an organization, hands-on. So the first thing that changed really for me was my method. So initially I was supposed to do participant observation with focus group and with group interviews with my participants, because my research is dealing with children K to 5. So they are as young as 6 years old to as old as 10. It was it, it's it is challenging when you just think of doing research, talking to children that age on the phone. You can just imagine how difficult it could be in terms of reaching them, availing them. And the field practicum starts in May while they are still in school, and immediately they're off school, they've already switched off their minds. They're already in summer. So going again, looking for students, asking them questions about their schoolwork. It was a little bit difficult, but I am glad things got to work for me, and yes, it happened.
Congratulations. Can you tell just a little bit about how you overcome those challenges that you just mentioned with the children's?
Yes, thank you. So the first thing that I had to do is learn. I had to read a few books of people who have done remote interviews, because now I only had to settle for one method for collecting data, so interviews, and that was phone interviews. So I had to go look for literature, look for people who have done these things, and just read their work, how they overcame this challenge. I did that. I read, and it helped me quite a bit. Then something else that helped me was my organization that I was working with. I had a science club site coordinator who helped me reach the children. So reach the children in terms through their parents, because you cannot reach a child who is under the age of 16 or under the age of 18 without the parents' consent, without just because they're minors. So I had to my host organization had to help me in terms of that, reaching them. And then I have to thank the parents, because they came in handy for me, because as much as I was reaching them so that I can reach the parents, most of them cooperated, and they understood why I had to do this over the phone, because it was for the good of myself, for the good of the organization, for the good of the children in terms of their program. Yeah, so the parents, the host organization, and just myself going into the internet, into looking for literature and looking for people who have done this over the phone.
Anja, could you tell us a little bit more about how how you have adjusted your research to overcome some of the challenge that you were facing involving your research?
Mm-hmm. So as I had mentioned earlier on, I just overcame I adopted or I adjusted my research in terms of the method. That was the section that I needed to adjust the most. But another section that I needed to adjust was just in terms of being able to stay in Gainesville, because as we are aware that international students like myself who are on 9-month appointments, most often we will like to be back home, or if the opportunity comes for us to do research, we will do research in another country where we can maybe get people to help us in terms of the resources. But I am glad I was able to stay behind and conduct my research with no problem, with the help of the Center of Latin American Studies and my department, the MDP department. I am so grateful to that center, because whatever they handed us came in handy for me personally and my family, and it just enabled me conduct research comfortably without disturbing anybody, disturbing the host organization or just any other person. Yes,
That's really nice. Thank you.
thank you.
Given all this experience that you got with your research, what will be advices that you might give to other students that are facing similar challenges with their studies?
Uh, Thank you. So one thing that I would like to tell people, be flexible, be patient, and be open to things. The pandemic has really taught us something, that we are equal regardless of where you are, and we are not certain of tomorrow. So just be patient and be flexible with whatever you are doing, with whatever research work you're trying to conduct. Or if for example you're in your proposal stage, just write a proposal. And in time when maybe you're in your method stage, just be flexible. Understand that this is what I want to do, but I do not have, I cannot control everything. So let me anticipate anything. And if I'm unable to go to Brazil, if I'm unable to go to Canada, if I'm unable to go to Kenya, yes, I can do this. And as much as there are many challenges that come in with doing research remotely, maybe when you are maybe in the US doing research in a country, maybe in Kenya, or maybe just a third world country where the internet is not stable. Just do not give up. Things will work. I have friends who have done research while in Gainesville and in a third world country, and it just worked. So there's nothing to be afraid of. Be patient, be flexible, and just be ready to learn. That is the most important thing. Be ready to learn. Don't be fixated to, I'm going to conduct participatory observations only. I'm going to conduct in-person interviews, and you just go learn about how to conduct in-person interviews, participatory observation, focus groups. No, if you're learning about questionnaires, if you're learning about interviews, learn about the physical one, learn about how to do remote ones, so that you are all rounded. So if something comes up, you know how to back yourself up and pick yourself up and continue with your research. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you so much for what you just mentioned. And we are always enjoying learning about the different research that the students are doing. And I'm sure other students who are just getting started on their research will find it beneficial to learn about the experience that you went through. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.